The Three of Cups in the OAK Tarot of Love and Romance suggests that the most intense magnetic pull you feel towards someone might actually be the very thing that starts to drain your battery. It's a striking departure from the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith version, where you usually see three women dancing in a circle, celebrating a harvest or a deep friendship. In Joe Bandel's deck, the focus shifts to a raw, high-stakes encounter between a practical woman and a rugged man, with three glowing cups suspended between them in a triangle. The image isn't just about a party, it's about the literal exchange of emotional energy and the friction that happens when two very different people are pulled together like magnets.
It captures that specific moment in a new connection where the attraction is so heavy it's almost physical. The artwork uses these passionate reds and warm golds that make the scene feel charged. But if you look at their faces, there's this subtle hesitation. It isn't a pure, unadulterated yes. It's more of a, wow, I'm drawn to you, but I can feel how different our rhythms are. That triangle of cups represents the energy flow, one for her, one for him, and the third for the relationship itself. It illustrates a common psychological dynamic where one partner acts as the radiant force and the other feels like they're struggling to keep their head above water.
That energy imbalance is the core tension here. You mentioned the radiant force, which the card associates with the female experience. She's full of life, feeling this surge of vitality from the connection. But the flip side is the male experience in this card, feeling emotionally drained despite being intensely drawn in. It reminds me of research into relational energy, where some interactions are literally expansive while others are contractive. If one person is pouring all their light into the connection, and the other is just trying to process the sheer volume of that energy, the rugged partner, as the card describes him, can end up feeling depleted.
And that's the trap. When you're the radiant one, it's easy to assume the other person is as energized as you are. You're moving at 1,000 miles an hour, and you don't realize your partner is gasping for air. The OAK Tarot notes that the woman might notice the other person struggling to keep up, but the attraction is so magnetic she might keep pulling. For the person feeling drained, the instinct is often to withdraw to protect their reserves, which the radiant partner then interprets as a lack of interest or a cooling of the spark. It's a classic distancer-pursuer dynamic, but fueled by legitimate differences in how they process emotional intensity.
But Bandel includes a massive oak tree in the background of this card. It's not just a decorative choice. In his organic Gnosticism philosophy, that oak represents something grounded and enduring. It suggests that even if the energy is currently lopsided, the foundation is solid. The connection has the potential for real growth if they can navigate that initial imbalance. It's like the relationship is a young sapling that needs both the light of the radiant partner and the grounded, perhaps slower, stability of the other. The challenge is not to let the magnetism burn the sapling out before it can actually take root.
Exactly. You have to ask yourself, is this attraction a bridge or a barrier? In psychology, we talk about nervous system regulation. Sometimes an energy mismatch is just two people operating at different sensory speeds. One person recharges through the interaction, the other recharges through quiet processing. If the rugged partner in the card is feeling drained, he isn't necessarily less than the woman. He might just have a lower threshold for high-intensity emotional stimuli. The card asks him to find balance, not to just run away or try to match her radiance artificially, which would only lead to faster burnout.
So how do you actually manage that in a real relationship? If I'm the one feeling drained, but I'm still desperately attracted to this person, how do I stay in the game without losing myself? The card shows them meeting eyes with curiosity. That feels like a clue. Instead of being overwhelmed by the sparks, they're pausing to actually look at each other. They aren't touching yet. They're observing the triangle of cups between them. It's almost as if they're acknowledging the third entity, the relationship, and realizing it has its own needs that might be different from their individual impulses.
That's a vital distinction. You have to trade expectations for appreciation. The radiant partner needs to appreciate that the other's ruggedness or practicality is a form of grounding, not a lack of passion. And the drained partner needs to see the radiance as a gift, not a demand. If you can communicate about the capacity of your cups, you stop the drain. It's about saying, I am incredibly attracted to you, but I need 20 minutes of silence to process how much I'm feeling. That keeps the energy flowing without it becoming a vacuum.
It's interesting that this card is the Three of Cups. In traditional numerology, 3 is about expansion and the first fruits of labor. It's the point where you plus me creates a we. But in the OAK tarot, it warns that this expansion can be lopsided. The emotional sparks mentioned in the visual description are beautiful, but sparks can also start fires if there's no hearth. The earthy tones in the oak tree are that hearth. They remind us that for a connection to be enduring, it can't just be a series of magnetic poles. It needs the gravity of practicality.
I think about the practical woman in the card. Often we think of the radiant person as being flighty, but Joe Bandel describes her as practical. That suggests her energy isn't just chaotic, it's purposeful. She's bringing a lot to the table, and she's ready to build. But if she sees the man as rugged, she might be mistaking his slower, more stoic processing for a lack of emotional depth. The hesitation in their eyes is actually a sign of emotional intelligence. It's the soul saying, I see the power here, and I'm being careful with it.
It really reframes the idea of the spark. We're taught that a spark is always good, but this card suggests that a spark is also a warning to check your insulation. If you're the one struggling to keep up, the card's advice is to find balance. Don't perform belonging. Don't pretend you have a full cup when you're running on fumes. The magnetic pull is real, but your autonomy is what keeps the pull from becoming a collision. The rugged man has to learn to say no to the intensity occasionally, so he can say a more permanent yes to the person.
And for the woman, the lesson is about containment. Her radiance is a superpower, but it needs a vessel. If she pours it all out at once, she has nothing left for the long haul, and she's left wondering why her partner looks like a deer in headlights. The 3 cups form a triangle, which is the strongest shape in architecture. It implies that if they can distribute the emotional load, some to him, some to her, and some held in the shared space of the relationship, they create something that can weather any storm, just like the oak tree.
It's a very grounded way to look at romance. It moves away from the Sex and the City style of Three of Cups, which is all about the social circle and the external celebration, and brings it back to the internal mechanics of 2 people. According to the guidebook, the minor arcana in this deck are about the 4 types of love we experience daily, and the cups are specifically emotional love. This card shows that emotional love isn't just a feeling, it's a resource that has to be managed. If you treat it like an infinite well, you'll eventually hit bottom.
Exactly. You see this in couples who have high polarity, that magnetic push and pull between masculine and feminine energies. While that creates incredible chemistry, it also creates a lot of voltage. If you don't have the oak, the shared values, the mutual respect for boundaries, the practical day-to-day compatibility, that voltage will eventually blow the fuse. The 3 of Cups is the moment you realize you have a high voltage connection and you start building the infrastructure to handle it.
It also touches on the Michelangelo phenomenon, where partners sculpt each other. In this card, the radiant partner might be trying to sculpt the rugged partner into someone more expressive or energetic. But if that ruggedness is his core nature, she's not sculpting, she's chipping away at his foundation. The card's earthy tones suggest that we have to work with the material we have. You don't turn an oak into a willow just because you like the way a willow sways in the wind. You appreciate the oak for its strength and its shade.
That curiosity in their eyes is so important. It's the antidote to judgment. Instead of thinking, why are they so draining? Or why can't they keep up? Curiosity asks, how does your energy work? And how does it fit with mine? It's a move toward understanding the how and why of the person in front of you. That's how you move from a temporary magnetic pull to a stable, enduring connection. You stop trying to change the polarity and start learning how to navigate the field.
Ultimately, the 3 of Cups from the OAK Tarot is a reminder that big emotions are a beginning, not an end. The sparks are what get you into the grove, but the oak is why you stay. If you're feeling that magnetic pull right now, take a second to look at your cups. Is one overflowing while the other is bone dry? Finding that equilibrium is the difference between a connection that burns out and one that grows into something monumental. If this perspective on the hidden dynamics of attraction resonated with you, share this episode with someone who is currently navigating a high-intensity connection.